Hi, everybody. Thanks for joining us for our webinar today, Achieving Zero Trust for the Cloud. My name's Todd Peterson. I'm in charge of product marketing at Xcitium. And joining us today to tell us the smart stuff is Matthew Salento, and he'll introduce himself when we get to him. So just a few housekeeping items. We will happily and would love to answer questions. So if you have questions throughout the webinar, go ahead and put them up in that question interface. We'll field as many as we can with the remaining time once we get done, which should be a pretty good amount of time. So we'll get started with this webinar, and I hope you enjoy and find value in it. Hold on here. Here we go. Here we go. All right, so a little bit about Xcitium. You may have heard of us, you may not have. We were founded with one simple goal, and that's to end breaches. So we have a patented technology called Zero Dwell that uses kernel-level API virtualization to neutralize threats that slip past legacy endpoint protection solutions. You might know us as Komodo. We were called Komodo previously. Today, we have more than 6,000 customers, and we protect more than 4.5 million endpoints and boast 27 patents, including, as I mentioned, our revolutionary Zero Dwell technology. Some of the things that we think really set us apart from other people is that we provide protection for everything from endpoints to cloud workloads. I also mentioned that patented Zero Dwell technology, which is really revolutionary, and nobody else does anything even similar. We have a natively architected unified zero trust platform. So it's not a bunch of, disparate tools kind of tied together and loosely integrated. This stuff's all built from the ground up to work together. It includes endpoint protection, network protection, web protection, email protection, ITSM tools, a SIM, purpose-built SIM, and then what we're going to talk about today, CNAP. And we offer full transparency in our protection stats. We track everything to say, here's how many things we identified, here's how many breaches came in, et cetera, et cetera. So that's pretty unique too. We're so confident in our approach that, you can look at the numbers and know. So let's talk about CNAP. So as you know, the attack surface has expanded. So a couple of high profile breaches that were, exploitation of cloud stuff. Cloudflare, or the famous Cloud Bleed incident from 2017, a bug in Cloudflare's code led to a buffer overflow, causing leakage of sensitive data. And it happened 18 million times before the issue was resolved. And the weakness that was exploited was a buffer overflow vulnerability in their software. Another one that we've all heard of was the Amazon Web Services incident in 2023. So a configuration in Amazon Web Services application load balancer authentication processes potentially exposed more than 15,000 web applications. So, the attack surface has expanded, and, why is that? It's because we're all moving to the cloud. So just between 2023 and this year, it's expected that the people using cloud infrastructure will have gone from $706 billion spent annually to 1.3 trillion by the end of this year. So that's almost a doubling just, in that 2-year span. In 2024, a survey revealed that 97% of businesses worldwide are using public cloud services. Same survey indicated that 45% are using private cloud, and 73% are using a hybrid cloud strategy. So, if you're on this call, you're probably in one of those categories, and it's just growing, and it's becoming more and more and more important every single day. So the challenges that this move to the cloud bring to us, first off, is data security and privacy. So migrating to the cloud can expose it to new vulnerabilities. The way you used to do things just simply doesn't work for cloud. Infrastructure compatibility and dependency issues, ensuring that existing applications and systems are compatible with this new cloud infrastructure. That can be challenging. Cost optimization complexities. Balancing cost savings with the necessary security investments requires careful planning and continuous monitoring. Compliance and regulatory concerns. Adhering to the regulations in cloud environments means that you have to have rigorous security controls and documentation. There's also this shared responsibility confusion. So the misunderstanding about the division of security responsibility between the cloud provider and the customer, between you and your cloud provider, that can lead to security gaps. Data exposure risks. Misconfigurations, such as improperly set permissions, can lead to unauthorized data access. Inconsistent security controls. Managing security across multiple cloud environments can result in inconsistent controls, which again increases vulnerability. And then finally, lack of cloud security expertise. Organizations, you may lack the necessary expertise to implement and manage cloud security effectively. And again, that leads to potential vulnerabilities. So all of this move is basically giving us another thing to worry about and another thing that we may not be fully equipped to handle on our own without some help. So CNAPP comes to the rescue. So CNAPP stands for Cloud Native Application Protection Platform. It allows you to implement zero trust security principles for the cloud. It supports modern workloads, meaning the cloud stuff. It's portable across public and private clouds as well as hybrid. It's optimized for DevSecOps. It has GRC checks and mapping, and it's essential for it. It tracks and manages and helps with essential cloud security hygiene. So what you get with a CNAPP solution is it thwarts modern day cloud-borne attacks, obviously. It's a layered multi-cloud security approach, not just a kind of a point approach. It's integrated with managed detection and response or extended detection and response. So it can be additive to the tools you already have in place for your, on-prem or your traditional endpoint protection. And then it centralizes cloud security controls. So there's tons of different things you may have to do for your cloud environment, such as cloud security posture management, application security posture management, cloud identity entitlement management, Kubernetes identity entitlement management, all that acronym alphabet soup right there. It centralizes those controls in a single place with kind of a single interface and a single strategy to make them all happen. And it also embraces innovation. So your IoT, your edge computing, 5G, et cetera, are all kind of embraced by this. So that's a brief explanation of what is available with a CNAPP solution and why it's important. So now let's see it in action. I'm going to quit sharing and Matt's going to show us what we got.
Thank you, Todd. Go ahead and share out my screen here.
Hold on, I got to make you presenter. There we go. You got it?
I got it.
Awesome. I'm going to go off camera and on mute. Enjoy.
Here we go. All right. Should be sharing up my screen at this point.
Yep, we see it.
Thank you. All right. So yes, we're going to do a live demonstration of the integrated CNAPP capability that Xcitium brings to the market. As you can see, I'm already authenticated into my console here, which covers a variety of different components, including our flagship endpoint Zero Trust platform. But right below this, you'll see that we have our Cloud Security Zero Trust, and this is the CNAPP component. Before I navigate over there, you'll notice I am defaulted on my dashboards here, and we have our managed service dashboard, our endpoint dashboard, but we also have our cloud dashboard. And this is a glimpse into the CNAPP world. Now, this is my demo environment. So I've got a few things configured, and a few of these widgets will start to populate with a high-level information. But if we drill deeper, and we're going to do that right now, we're going to drop right into the Cloud Security Zero Trust area. And you'll notice there are an array of different dashboards. And I'm actually going to start in the middle here with compliance. And you'll notice that acronym that Todd mentioned a moment ago, CSPM, Cloud Security posture management. Now you'll notice these dials are loading, right? These are all real-time queries into the cloud to pull back all of the relevant information that I have configured across my public, hybrid, private clouds, etc. So this is a high-level dashboard giving me a view into the different areas and status across them. But I really want to drop into the cloud asset summary because this is an eye-opener. With just read-only keys into your cloud infrastructure, these dashboards start to populate. Now you'll notice when I navigate over here, we have 33 compliance frameworks already populated on the left-hand side, and I'm scrolling through them so you can actually see the variety of frameworks that are listed here. But if I pause right here on this one here, ISO 27001 is fairly common. There's 41 controls here, and you can clearly see that in my environment, I am only 82% compliant. Now, if I go ahead and select this framework here, it'll actually list out all of my 41 controls. More specifically, it'll tell me how well I am doing, or rather, how poorly I am doing on each one. Now, in this case, you can see event logging. I'm at 0%, and there are 6 that have failed here. You can see that in the red there. Now, if I go ahead and select on this 6 to investigate this a little closer, it's just going to give me a list of all these things that have failed within that particular control. So, of course, I can see what the message was, and more importantly, I have a recommended action. It tells me exactly what I need to do to resolve this. Now, if I'm not exactly sure on what this means or how to do it, well, we provide you with the direct link that will tell you how to do that. So when I go ahead and address this top row, for example, I'm going to bring your attention to the compliance column. You'll notice there's a plus 16 here. Now, when I go ahead and select and fix and resolve this first item, I'll go ahead and click on the 16 there. It'll automatically resolve it across all of these other compliance frameworks. So in short, and very quickly, I can bring my cloud resources up to a level of compliance that my organization is comfortable with or is required to meet. Now, every single day you'll get a new scan and these results will change. Now, I went ahead and selected that item there and it gives me all the information. So I can see all the compliance frameworks and the sub-controls all listed out here. So all the data is right here in one screen. This is the detailed view. I can simply navigate back to the full compliance list. So if I resolve all of the items in my ISO control here, doesn't matter which one, then I can actually go through all of the others. And if, say, for example, I'm an Azure shop, I can actually go through the benchmarks here, regardless of whether or not my organization is required to meet these compliance frameworks. I can still bring my organization up to that level anyway, and then feel safe and comfortable about the status of my cloud resources out there. But this does provide that real-time view. The scans complete every day and give you new results. You can also invoke the scans interactively. So if you go ahead and fix a number of different controls during the day, you can launch a new scan and get your immediate results. No changes to the environment, just full visibility with those read-only keys, providing you this visibility. Now, when all of this information comes in, they will populate all these dashboards, but they'll also start to populate the issues and findings. Because as the scan actually runs through all of the resources, you'll see the findings start to build out. This is just one area of CNAPP, the Cloud Security Posture Management. You see that acronym right there. Now, if you happen to be developing applications for the cloud native applications, well, then you probably have source code. And you can certainly tie your source code repositories into this console here, and we will scan those repositories and suggest methods to improve the code prior to it being compiled. after it is compiled, this is where the runtime protection comes in handy. This is the zero trust part of CNAP. In the runtime protection area, I'll just pull up the dashboard here. You see the CWPP Cloud Workload Protection. This is the default dashboard, and very little information there, but I'm going to navigate here to my app behavior dashboard. Now this will give me a visual. So I've got this visual of my environment here, and I can see the font isn't too small, all of my resources and all the ports, protocols that are in use communicating with this area. Now, I can see right below me here, there's a port 80 and there's a number 5, that small print there. And if I click on that port 80, I can actually see which devices are communicating. Now, we all know that port 80 is clear and unencrypted, and maybe as part of my production design, this isn't actually supposed to be there. But now with this visibility, I can absolutely see this and then address that immediately. So here's a visual of the cloud in action. Now, right below the app behavior is a policies area. Now, this is going to show you a lot of policies, but I must tell you that the platform has built out all the policies you're about to see here. I'm just going to navigate over here to the hardening tab. All of these policies were provided and found and built by the system here based on all the activity it has seen. And you'll notice that all of these policies are inactive, and that is the default. Now, if I look at one of these policies, this one says Audit Remote Access Services. When I click it, I can literally see what it is comprised of, and I can literally edit this and adjust it to make it fit my requirements. And when that's ready and I have that just right, I can then go ahead and activate this policy. And this is that real-time mitigation. So you can literally lock down your cloud environment to known ports, protocols, communications to, from, among, and between all of your cloud assets. So even though you may have authorized and authenticated admins in your cloud, they necessarily won't be able to instantiate a new service and communicate across a different protocol. This will all be locked down. This is that zero trust component that Todd was referring to earlier. Now, if I actually just drop into the cloud assets area, navigating across these, I'll hit them all. This will actually just give you, in summation, across all of your configured public, private, cloud resources, high-level overview of all of the components. So you can see I've got a few cloud accounts, quite a number of VMs, clusters, storage buckets, databases, etc. But for each one of the assets, you can literally see if I have findings across them. And then down at the bottom of my page here, I can actually see the number of assets across all of those environments. So this is that high-level picture. Now, everything from source code to those executables when they're compiled, to the container images. If you have clusters out there, that's where the cloud workloads will come in handy. If you have clusters, you can absolutely onboard them here, and you can see there's going to be a number there populated out here. So everything from the source code to the runtime, to the compliance, to the kernel level issues, to the network level issues will be listed over in the findings dashboard. This is the absolute aggregate of all of the findings. And you can actually see for all of these, there's plenty of different items to choose from. Cloud findings, for example. Right? Identity and access, right? There's an issue here. I just have to select it and I'll know exactly what I need to do here. For all of these items, whether it's your cloud findings or maybe you have infrastructure as code, doesn't really matter. Every item will actually give you all of the specific information. Here's one right here. This is source code, so it's actually finding and suggesting we need to do something here. So if I go into the solution area, it actually indicates exactly what I should add to that to tighten up this particular bit of code. So for the developers who are looking at this, they can run through this really quickly and address it. They can flip all of these items here on whatever column of interest. So you can start with all the high risk factors and work your way down, etc. But all of this information you now have in this unified console. Onboarding of the cloud resources is actually very straightforward. I'm going to leave for a moment this security tab, skip over the managed security and ITSM areas, and drop into the settings area. You'll notice there is a cloud security settings, which I'm going to navigate to. And this will actually show you the cloud environments that I've got configured, but I'll just show you really quickly how you can onboard your cloud environment. And you'll notice for the ones that I have, I can manually or interactively invoke scans at a moment's notice. But let me show you this onboarding process, which I believe is fairly straightforward. And let me select this particular cloud resource, AWS. I'll just use the keys, and I need to provide it my label, and that's sufficient. What I'll do here is click Next. The only thing that I need to do is now enter in the access key and the secret from my cloud that I just provisioned out there because I need to provide access, and then simply identify the regions that I am interested in. And the only thing I need to do is press Connect. And when I do that, a scan initiates, and then those compliance frameworks illuminate, and you can run through all of them. So without any changes to your environment at all, it simply just provides you absolute visibility across all of your cloud footprints. You may have one in each cloud or several in each cloud. That's perfectly fine. You can plug them all in and have a unified view across all of that, and very quickly close up all of those gaps. Now, we have many other components in the cloud security area. So of course, if I wanted to onboard my clusters, I could certainly do that here. But the integrations are very interesting. You'll notice I talked about cloud workload protection. I talked about cloud security posture management. These are the different areas of our CNAPP offering, and they're all listed out here. So cloud workload protection, if there's an infraction, an event, or an alert, you can feed those alerts into whatever systems you wish using these integrations here. And of course, you can tie in notifications into whatever. You'll see Slack and Jira listed, no problem. You can configure those as well to drop alerts when they arrive. For cloud security posture management, of course, you can tie that right into your ticketing system. Go ahead and choose your ticketing system and fill in the specifics, and off you go. Source code configuration, infrastructure as code configuration, that's perfectly fine. You want to just onboard your repo, you can absolutely do that. Go ahead and type in your path, plug in your token, right? And then you've got that integrated. So you can tie a lot of different things in here. And at the end, you'll see ticket template. So when a ticket is created in the platform, you get to decide exactly how much or how little detail is provided. And you can see I've got a few of these ticket templates already set up here. I'm going to go ahead and open one of these up, give you an idea. Now you'll see the tokenization here. So you can literally choose as much detail as you want. So when that ticket arrives, you don't have to go anywhere else. It's self-describing and complete, or you can have it as generic as you like, but you can completely customize all of these to fit your requirements for your systems. So now I've got everything onboarded, we have everything integrated, and I just need to drop in and I can assess this as I see fit. With our role-based access control platform, we can set it up so that people can come in here, and if the people who are authorized to look, they can look and maybe only see this area and none of the other areas of the platform. So this is the high-level overview of Xcitium's CNAPP offering integrated into our unified console. Thank you.
All right, thanks, Matt. You hear me now?
I can, yes, thank you.
Great. Let's go to this last slide. Let me know if you can see it, and does it look like it's supposed to? All right,
I
so
see.
you see free assessments?
I
Cool.
do.
So all right, everybody, we have a couple of free assessments that you can run to find out where you're vulnerable and those types of things. If you see that link at the bottom of this slide, and also I put it into the chat, click on that, sign up for the assessment, it'll run, and then you can kind of see where you stand and if you're in need of something like this, or if you're absolutely fine. So that will also be included in the email that we send you to follow up, with the recording. A number of people have asked for slides and for access to the recording. That will be available in the follow-up email that we're going to send you. Okay, we have a couple of questions now. I'm going to quit sharing so that I can navigate the questions well. All right. Okay, so first question, how many of the findings can be automatically remediated rather than requiring admin/user input to correct?
That's a great question. So the findings dashboard is going to articulate the aggregate of everything, but the correction or the corrective action is outside of this purview because that will require internal policies, processes, right, and change management capabilities, right? So we provide the information. This is fed back into your internal processes to resolve, but that's not resolved in the platform, even though it will provide it. But having said that, we can fit into CI/CD pipelines for integration into environments that are using these pipelines for continuous improvement and continuous development.
Awesome. Thank you. All right, next question. How long does a real-time initiated scan take to complete?
That is going to depend on how many assets are in your cloud or how many cloud accounts that you actually have. So you could have a cloud footprint out there with just a handful, 5 different items or assets out there, but you could have 10,000 of them, right? So when that scan initiates, it's going to run through everything in your cloud. So it really is going to be dependent on how large your cloud footprint is. But it could take, 40 minutes. It could take a few hours, depending on how many you have and how large.
Awesome. Thanks. This is kind of a very specific question. Can this free assessment be customized for a partner? The answer is yes. All right. Next one. Is there some good documentation I could use to determine the technology stands out in the Gartner analysis so I can do the analysis that Gartner won't and show how the CNAP is best in class compared to others? So do we have some stuff that someone can use to determine if what we claim is true and if our solution is really as good as we say it is? At least that's how I interpreted that question.
Yeah, we do have that actually. Yes.
Yeah, we have lots. So awesome. Let me make sure there's no other questions in here. If anyone has one, go ahead and put it in.
These are good questions. Thank you.
And it looks like we got them answered. Okay. Oh, yes. Oh, I got a yes. You did a good job with my question. Thanks, Vincent.
Thank
I
you.
appreciate that. And it's not me, that's Matt. Did the good job. Okay, excellent. So thank you all for attending. I hope you found this valuable. Please run those assessments if you're interested. We think you'll find some great value there, some good insight. And, we will be following up with access to the recording and those other things. And as always, if you have any cybersecurity needs, think of Xcitium. I think you'll find that there's some stuff that we can do for you that you won't get anywhere else. It's pretty amazing things. So thank you very much. Appreciate all your attendance, and we'll see you on the next one. Goodbye.
Thank you.